Ladies and gentlemen, some crazy news that's floating about. News that will come across very exciting for many people. Even for me, it's very, very exciting. But let's be honest, news that I cannot trust. I just can't see how Chelsea actually pulled this off. As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, the picture of Jamal Musiala. I said it to you guys yesterday off the back of that match against, the match between Bayern Munich and Arsenal, that Jamal Musiala was the best player on the field across both the teams. And this particular kid, he's been sensational for a little while now. And on top of that, he's got massive ambitions, massive aspirations to actually win the Ballon d'Or one day. And do you know what? At a club like Bayern Munich, he's most likely will be capable down the track to win the Ballon d'Or if he continues with Bayern Munich. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's get on with the latest news. And the news goes something like this. So these are all the latest Chelsea news, ladies and gentlemen. Take a moment right now, smash the like button. If you're here for the first time, subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. There's a whole heap of news that's coming up, so you're going to enjoy it. Chelsea are monitoring this situation with Jamal Musiala. However, Man City are expected to push for him this summer. This is coming from Jacob Steinberger. He loves to have a burger every now and then. So look, Jamal Musiala, ladies and gentlemen, where do I even start? Do I like this link? Of course I do. This is ecstatic news. This is fantastic. These are the kind of calibrated young kids that our owners, our board should be looking at, should be monitoring. But let's be honest, this for me is way too far-fetched. First of all, Manchester City are seeming to be interested as well. And if it's between Man City and us, I can't see how a player of the quality of Jamal Musiala will choose Chelsea ahead of Manchester City. I know a lot of people will say, but Miz, Jamal Musiala is an ex-Cobham player. He's best friends with Levi Colwell, this, that, the other. Look, all of this stuff, when it comes to money, when it comes to achieving stuff in real life, that doesn't come into consideration. You got to look after your well-being. And your well-being is not about, I'm an ex-Cobham, so I'm going back home. No, you do what's best for your career. And you can reminisce down the track. Especially a kid like Jamal Musiala should not be thinking about sentimental values right now in his life. Yeah, you can think about that down the track when you're in your 30s and you want to come back to Chelsea and maybe finish off your career. Yeah, perhaps. But under this new ownership, that's not going to happen either. If you're over 30-year-old, you're not getting any chance at Chelsea Football Club. So, look, if it's between Manchester City and Chelsea right now, there is no doubt you would be selecting Manchester City. We don't have Europe. We will not have Europe next season. There is question marks about how our future looks under this new ownership, the board that's been created under the new ownership. There's no guarantee how it all looks. So why will Jamal Musiala risk all of that and come to Chelsea Football Club and suffer like some of the players that have been suffering? And on top of that, is Pochettino, is he going to be the manager next season? Who's going to be the manager? There's question marks around that. And if it is Pochettino, Jamal Musiala, can he fit into Pochettino's way of playing, which is a lot of running? He prefers a lot of runners in midfield. So for me, look, many things to consider. As we're going to go through the news, you'll see that potentially, it's not going to happen in terms of the wages as well, how much we're going to pay. Apparently, there's a capping in wages at Chelsea Football Club at 150,000 a week. Transfer fees probably going to be exorbitant as well. And on top of that, ladies and gentlemen, as I said, we are a very, very good club, still an elite club in Europe, but at the moment we're just not there. And not being able to offer Jamal Musiala UCL football, someone who's aspiring to win the Ballon d'Or one day, yeah, for me, it's way too far-fetched, ladies and gentlemen. You let me know your thoughts. If this is actually possible. Me personally, I like the rumors, but I don't think it's possible. The other factor is why we might be monitoring this situation, ladies and gentlemen, is apparently there is a sell-on clause on Jamal Musiala. So if Jamal Musiala gets sold, Chelsea do end up getting some money out of it. So maybe that's probably the reason why we're monitoring him. Jamal Musiala is definitely not for sale in summer. Bayern still want to extend his contract to 2026 beyond very, very soon. This is coming from Pletigo, you best believe. Florian Plettenberg, when it comes to German news, he's on top. He's on top of it. Fabrizio Romano has also said FC Bayern remain clear on their plan for Jamal Musiala. No intention to sell their gem this summer. Case closed. Bayern Munich they're not a pushover, man. Bayern Munich make a lot of money, man. They're one of the richest clubs in the world. They can afford to pay big wages. They can afford to do big transfers. Their revenue stream's massive, so they can do that. New contract proposal to be submitted soon. It will include important salary increase plus add-ons. There you go. They'll make him one of the top earners, undoubtedly, and Jamal Musiala will stay. It's Bayern Munich. It's a heritage club, man. It's a heritage club. It's a big, big club. So Musiala, look, don't think you'll have any reason to leave Bayern Munich. As I said, if he does leave Bayern Munich, it's going to have to be one of the big, big dogs. Real Madrid, Man City, probably those names are the ones that come into my mind. Top clubs in England and Spain keep following Jamal, but no talks now. So that's a bit about Jamal Musiala. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts in regards to the whole Musiala link in the comment section below. Next up, Benjamin Sesko's representatives have been guests at Chelsea this season, and the club have been tracking him. 42.7 million release clause. Look, this makes sense. It is realistic, and it fits the whole project scenario. Do I like it? No. I don't think we need another young striker. And Šeško still has a lot to develop. We need someone who's a little bit more polished. We don't need more kids, man. We're not going to win anything with kids. Šeško, I'll tell you why it makes sense. 42.7 million release clause. So from a transfer money point of view, ticks the box. Age point of view, ticks the box. Wages point of view, he's not going to demand big wages. He's already on like minimal wages, I think, at Red Bull Leipzig. So coming to Chelsea Football Club, he's probably going to be somewhere around that Cole Palmer money, about 80,000 a week, maybe a bit less. So it ticks all of those boxes. But for me, ladies and gentlemen, what's the difference between him and having any of our young players? Nicholas Jackson or David Dutcher Fofana. I know a lot of you say he's much better than them, but this is not what we need right now. He may be much better than them, but he's still not the levels that we require. That's just my personal thought. Let me know, ladies and gentlemen, your feelings about Benjamin Sesko. Chelsea, among other Premier League clubs, are considering a move for Benjamin Sesko. His low fee release clause and wages are seen to be as good value. There you go. This is why I said makes sense, ticks all the boxes, but not for me. Not for me. But I fully understand why Chelsea are looking to do this. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, Evan Ferguson, another striker that's linked. So obviously we're in the market for strikers. Ferguson is being seriously discussed internally and Chelsea and other Premier League clubs. This is coming from Ben Jacobs. Look, he's another very talented young striker, but I'm sick and tired of doing so many deals with Brighton. Brighton, if anything, they're going to rob us again. So I don't need that. They're going to probably value him in excess of 100 million. And on top of that, what has Evan Ferguson done? What has Evan Ferguson done to warrant that type of money? He's injured as well on a consistent basis. And it's not like he's absolutely set the Premier League on fire. If anything, we should probably be looking at, if it's in the Premier League, you should be looking at Dominic Solanke, you should be looking at Ollie Watkins, these type of players. But once again, probably age is the factor over there. Age for Evan Ferguson is a tick mark. And our owners, they love dealing with Brighton, it seems like. But look, me, once again, this is not for me. This one is definitely not for me. If Evan Ferguson was somewhere around 40 million, maybe, low wages, even then, I don't feel like it's necessary. How many more young kids do we want? He's another young player. So much still to develop. Not for me. Not for me. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, Levi Colwill is losing his bid to return from a toe injury in time to face Manchester City this weekend. Look, take your time, man. There's no rush. Um, the worst thing we can do is bring someone like Levi Colwill back into the team and then he's injured again. So take your time, get well, and look, the season's almost coming to an end anyway. So yeah, just take your time. And honestly, take your time, and we'll see what you do next season. This season's been underwhelming, but a lot of the times Levi Colwill has been deployed as a left back, which is not his position. I want to see Levi Colwill as a CB to actually put a better judgment on him, as opposed to now. I think a lot of people are probably disregarding him. Well, I know the level of defender I saw previously from Levi Colwill. So I want to see that before I actually make a proper judgment on Levi Colwill. Newcastle United scouts have been present at recent Chelsea games and are carefully monitoring the intriguing situation around Conor Gallagher. I mean, honestly, Conor Gallagher will fit the bill for Newcastle. Eddie Howe loves these type of midfielders, runners. Look, I've got no issues with Conor Gallagher being as a rotational player for us, being someone who comes off the bench and then the odd starts here and there next season. But for me, look, I feel like he's not irreplaceable. We can do without Conor Gallagher. Look, no disrespect. There's been matches where he's done really well. In fact, the last one against Everton, he was very, very good, along with Caicedo. So, look, a lot of you guys was, you hate Conor Gallagher. Anything these days, a minor bit of criticism is deemed as hate, which is quite sad. The other thing you have to realize with Conor Gallagher, we're looking to get pure profit. We're looking to balance our books, and unfortunately, a lot of the academy boys are going to be sold for pure profit, which will help balance the books. And it's important to balance the books, or else you're going to get in trouble with financial fair play. Raheem Sterling has returned to training after being sidelined by a bout of food poisoning. He suffered from dehydration because of this and lost weight while battling the illness. So he's back now, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see exactly what happens with him. I still think Raheem Sterling can provide a lot for us, at least this season. He's an experienced player. I feel like at his best, and I know at his best doesn't happen that often, but at his best, he can be very, very devastating. So, look, the question mark is still going to be out there in the summer, whether he needs to be sold or not. Potentially, he might be needed to be sold, if I'm being absolutely honest. But he's on big wages at Chelsea Football Club, and the power's with him. He's got, I think, another 3 more seasons left after this season in his contract, and he'll be in no rush to leave. That's the issue that we have with Raheem Sterling. But at the same time, I value him a lot. I know he's been embarrassing at times this season, multiple times, mind you. But I still think with this young squad that we have, the remaining games that we have, if someone like Raheem Sterling can be a little bit more consistent, honestly, that'll go a long way for the success of Chelsea Football Club. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, some commentary in regards to Pochettino. Looks like he's definitely not going this season, and potentially he could be staying next season. As I've been saying for the past few months, I fully feel that's going to happen. But we all know he probably doesn't deserve to stay at Chelsea Football Club. But the reality is perhaps he's going to stick around. The latest from Pochettino, I don't expect any firm conclusion to be reached until the season is over. Chelsea's season has fallen short of expectations of everyone involved, so it's time to step up. There's a strong argument after all the changes. Chelsea need continuity, and Pochettino deserves time. He'll be judged by the performance he gets out of the players and also the results. This is coming from David Orenstein. Yeah, of course. I mean, I think it's too late to sack him this season. There's only a handful full of games left. Might as well see it through. I think from a financial fair point of view as well, getting rid of him now and trying to find a new manager immediately, that could be a bit of an issue. But yeah, I'm fully waiting to see how the season ends. Can he beat Manchester City next up in the FA Cup semi-final, go into the final and win the final? Can he get us to 6th, 7th, some level of European football next season. So let's see. Obviously, the verdict is out there, but I think the judgment will most likely now happen at the end of the season. Chelsea's ownership know they must do better and expectations are higher. They do not want any excuses and are adamant that despite public noise, they'll get this right at Chelsea. So once again from David Ornstein, look, that's fine, man. Yes, it's good that they acknowledge that we need to do better and our expectations are higher. But it looks like they're not going to rush into any decision. I think that's what the last line is. They'll get this right at Chelsea. So, despite all the noise, which makes me think, this time around, unlike last season, they're not going to just jump into conclusion and then, change a whole heap of things around in a short space of time, especially from a managerial point of view and players' point of view. So, once again, I think they'll make a judgment. Once the season's over, they'll do a review. And then they'll figure out whether who stays and who goes. So that'll be found out at the end of the season. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts about everything we spoke about. Smash the like button if you're here for the first time. Subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Till next time, everyone. Take care. See ya.